Welcome to Dominant Mets Nation. Thank you all. I appreciate every single one of you on Dominant Mets Nation. I love our channel. I love our members. I thank you each and every day for your support, the comments, when you like, subscribe. It just means the world to me. Okay, now let's get into I'm going to just say it straight up. It was a disaster. We took 2 of 2 from the San Diego Padres, but honestly, it felt like a failure of a weekend. We had our opportunity, our golden opportunity yesterday, heading into the Quintana game. Quintana pitching his heart out, and he was due. He was due for that type of performance, shutting down a very good lineup. And I think at this point, it's really fair to think of this from this perspective. Did David Stearns fail to do his job at the trade deadline? And I'm going to get into reasons why, but yesterday was the perfect example. Okay. Um yeah, because let's look at it from a couple different perspectives. Number 1, Jose Budo, we know he's a youngster. We know he's really a guy who has exceeded expectations in my book. He's a guy who has been very flexible. You could put him as a starter, long relief. You can leverage him in high leverage spots in the 8th inning. You could put him in the 9th inning, 7th, 6th inning, wherever you need big outs. A guy like Budo is able to perform. Now, past couple performances, it was decent. He was successful. Yesterday was not. But the way our bullpen is structured, guys like Jose Budo is going to be in high leverage situations. Now you have Nunez coming back up. He's going to be in high leverage situations as well. And I honestly think there may be a predicament where we may have him closing. Diaz is another guy that we know have been coming back from an injury. And we knew before the trade deadline, this is not the Edwin Diaz of 2022. We know that. So therefore, we know we got youngsters in the bullpen. We know that we got Diaz, who's not lights out like he was in 2022. So at the deadline, we went out, we acquired Stanek. We went out, we acquired Brazoban. Yesterday wasn't a day where you would put either of those guys in those situations. Brazoban has been stinky, sucky, whatever you want to say, and Stanek has been untrustworthy as well. So our biggest area of need, we acquired really no help that could help us out in high leverage situations. So if I have to evaluate David Stearns on improving the bullpen, at the trade deadline, I have to give him a 0. Yeah, we did get other guys like Phil Maton early in the free agent, or earlier in the trade deadline, early in July, but we needed more. We needed more guys. And, there's going to be times where a guy like Jose Budo, who hasn't been exposed to high leverage situations, who will not come through. You can't put him in all the time. And, like I said, he's a youngster. This is part of the game. He's not battle tested yet. But he's one of the few guys that you need to rely on. I noticed when, Luis Severino throws 7 innings, the bridge is usually Budo to Edwin Diaz. Now it's going to be Daniel Nunez. You have another reliable guy, but there's about 2 or 3 guys who are reliable in that bullpen, that bridge right now. So in terms of evaluating, did David Stearns solidify the bullpen? I can't say it. And then also, if you really look at it too, did we elevate our team to that next level? Let's a la the Seattle Mariners, a la the Diamondbacks, a la the Padres, who we just faced, who solidified their bullpen. Did we really improve an area of the team? We have Lindor, who is playing at an MVP level. Pete has come on as of late, although, he's got a lot more to prove. But, we've had guys have their moments. Mr. Mark Vientos is producing a season this year that none of us would have projected already. I mean, the guy, if he would have 500 at-bats, would have probably smacked close to 40 home runs. That's the kind of pace he is on. So we are having offensive production from guys that we didn't really expect. So, all these factors going in, how much did we really elevate and improve the team? Now, Blackburn, he was the one starter acquired. Unfortunately, he's injured. We don't know exactly when he's coming back. He's on the 15-day injured list. So, I mean, it really kind of looks bleak and barren. Like, this is what was an opportunity. If you look at the landscape, the Braves, they're not the Braves of this year. Although they've gone on a little winning streak, they don't have their guys. They don't have Acuna. Albies might be back. He might not be. Austin Riley, their star third baseman, he's out. Strider, he's out. Like, they got top players who are out. And you could be saying, oh, yeah, the Braves, they're still doing well. They're still a competitor. Okay, yeah, they're doing that with their players now. Imagine how much better and how much more of a competitor they're going to be next year with those guys, Acuna, Albie's 100% healthy, Austin Riley, Spencer Strider, and then what they do over the offseason to improve and supplement their talent, because they will improve. And then you got the Dodgers, who they've had their fair share of injuries. Plus, we all know Shohei Ohtani cannot pitch. They're only going to get better next year, right? So the time is really now. When you weigh all those factors, and we knew about the injuries before the deadline. We knew about the Dodgers not having Shohei Ohtani and their injuries before the deadline. So my thing was, I wanted to take advantage and win now. I know the Mets didn't want to pay the high cost, but if you are going to take advantage of a landscape that doesn't have the best of the best teams, like every team was not at their best, and 2024 was the year. 2023 Texas Rangers, nobody really thought they were going to win, but they were able to take advantage of their road. They were able to take advantage of their road. They made some big trades at the trade deadline. They gave up a Luis Angel Acuna. And here's the thing about prospects. You never know. You never know. Jared Kelenic, garbage. Pete Crow Armstrong, he looks like garbage. So, if you're prospect hugging and, all you guys aren't going to work out. I understand maybe 5 prospects you want to keep, but I would have heavily considered moving some other prospects to bring our team to the next needed level. And we needed to supplement talent. We did not get that pitcher. I don't know what the Blake Snell price was, but we need another rotation guy. Yes, can we bring up Sprout? Yeah, but he's another young guy who's not battle tested. So they're going to be question marks. Every single option that we have. A Tyler McGill, question mark. If we bring up a Mike Vassell from the minor leagues, question mark. No matter what we do, Dominic Hamill, every single move we make right now will have a major question mark. The only question marks, or that would have had less question marks, would have cost us prospects. But those prospects in themselves are question marks. I mean, you hope this never happens, but these players, they have these injuries, and sometimes they never come back from. I know a guy like Jet Williams had a major injury, and I hope to God that he's going to be 100% very, very soon. But you just really never know how many prospects throughout the years fizzle out and turn out to be nothing. Go look at our prospect list, and you go look at every single year, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, and go look at our top 10 prospects, and you tell me how many of those stars became stars. How many of those top 20 prospects were used? Every single year, you might have 1 or 2 players actually pan out and be decent. I'm not talking about superstars. That might happen every 2-3 years, where you actually have a prospect that becomes a superstar. The David Wright, the maybe Jose Reyes. How many times has that really happened? And then we have Pete Alonso 10 years later. Yeah, Jacob deGrom was sandwiched in there. But in the last 20 years, how many prospects did we bring up that were superstars? Superstars. Jacob deGrom? David Wright? Was Jose Reyes a superstar? You can make the argument. David Wright had a short career. I mean, it's really, really tough. So, I mean, prospect hugging is really not the really way to go. Now, even if you look at value, Luis Angel Acuna was the rated prospect in the organization, Texas Rangers organization. Now, this year, they redid the prospect values in the Mets organization. Now he's like the 11th or 12th best prospect in our organization. So now one could argue if you traded him off in, let's say, May or June, now his value is actually perceived to be lower. He's not a top 5 or top 3 organizational prospect. He's outside the top 10. So now he has less value. Why does he have less value? Maybe, obviously, he was exposed a bit more. And, did he take that next step that scouts expected him to possibly take? It doesn't look like it. Is he decent? Is he mediocre? Does he have potential talent? Yes. But we're looking for that huge next level jump, like a Sprout, Brandon Sprout, our number one player, our number one pitcher. Scouts are looking for that jump. Now, we've seen guys who have fizzled out and we didn't trade them when we could have, and their value just went down to nothing. Like a Kevin Parada. We drafted him a couple years ago, very highly in the first round. We've had our opportunity to flip him early on. Did not. I don't hear about him anymore. Now he's like outside the top 30. Another prospect, and he's a guy that, yet to be seen. Colin Howe, we selected him as shortstop a few years ago. He seems to be dropping down, and I know he's still a young guy, but if you trade these guys when their value is at the highest, where they haven't seen any type of failure, it just really seems that you can acquire top level talent. But if you let your prospects eventually fizzle out, and as we've seen, you learn from history. I just told you every single year, you're lucky if you have one or two guys actually pan out. So it's just really kind of hit or miss. I know the Mets have been a little better as of late with their prospects. I'll say the last probably ever since probably 10 years, they've been a lot better. Early 2000s, they were terrible. But still, when I say a lot better, maybe 3 out of the top 20 prospects will pan out. So we're not talking about ridiculous level numbers here. So that's just how a series like the Padres, where we needed to supplement our talent, where we needed to get extra, help, and it just wasn't there. When we played the Seattle Mariners, it was 100% apparent how a guy like Randy Arozarena really supercharged that team. And I know the Mariners, besides when we played them, they weren't at that level. But when we saw them play, you saw how an impact, how an acquisition could really jumpstart a team. So that's all I'm saying. Every single loss we have right now or that we suffer is extremely detrimental because it is a playoff game. It's a playoff game each and every day. Now, now we got to replace Blackburn, and the options aren't great. The options are not great, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, Stearns didn't really, I can't give him a thumbs up. I really, and I gave him, I believe at the time, I gave him like a B or a B plus trade deadline performance. And I said, as time goes on, you'll see the players that he acquired succeed or fail. And then that grade will either go up or down. In my opinion, 1 month past the trade deadline or almost 1 month, that B has to be converted to a C. So that's my opinion. So let me know what you think. Please please subscribe. If you have anything, you'd like to add, just drop it down in the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have a great day. And let's go Mets. I'm not giving up. We're still 2.5 games out of the wild card. I just think that it really could have been a bit easier if we would have added a little more talent. All right. Well, thank you again, and have yourself a great day.